Now we're back and we have so much to talk about since we've been gone, including a local high school that's in the national news for not a good reason. So let's get started. The chat starts now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the chat. I'm Tony Fox, and we've got Angelia, Melissa, and Bonnie's sitting in.
Bonnie's here.
Hetty had an emergency, which we can all relate to.
Yeah.
She has to get her AC fixed.
Isn't that the worst?
Right, and the timing of it, of course, it's just starting to get hot. So it couldn't have happened like even a couple of weeks ago.
No, that never happens.
When it was nice. It's always when it's turning 90. So, so yeah, we would all run home too if we had to meet the AC guy and we had no AC, right?
I wouldn't run home.
No, you wouldn't?
I would be right here.
Yeah, because it's ice cold here. This is a good place to be when the AC is out.
That's true. All right, well, we have stuff to talk about always, and we are starting with a local controversy, actually. An apparent Craigslist ad featuring 2 black students at Fleming Island High School with the words, "2 slaves for sale." There it is. Another student saw the post, shared it on her Facebook page, calling the ad a sick, disgusting joke. Clay County Schools say they are aware of the ad and are investigating the validity of it. Meanwhile, some students and parents are calling for more action from the school. So, what should happen to these students? I mean, I find this absolutely, utterly disgusting. I'm really shocked this happened. I really am. No, Bonnie, you're shaking your head.
I am. I mean, I think it probably, I'm not a lawyer. It seems like it would fall under a hate crime for sure. But did anyone talk about it on your show this morning?
You know, I have heard about it. And the problem so often when a student posts something on social media, and I've seen this with my own kids when they brought home stories from their schools, if a student's posting something off campus on social media, school districts are actually kind of limited in what they can do about it.
Really?
Wow. Often, yeah.
But now these have pictures of students in them.
I know.
So does that make it, I would think obviously they could do something about it.
You would think so. And you know what else I noticed when I looked at this? Look underneath 2 slaves for sale. It's from Fleming Island Plantation. That right there shows you how we have institutional racism embedded in the very fabric of this community. This housing development is called a plantation, okay? Now, I realize that most people don't think anything about that.
You know, I didn't think of it until you said it.
But think about this. When I moved down here from up north and I saw all these areas called plantations, I thought, how are African Americans viewing that? And there are African American people living in these communities, but a plantation was for the production of slave labor.
Yep.
And so we have a problem with institutional racism that goes beyond students posting these offensive and awful things.
That's a really great point. And the thing that I think bothers me the most about this is you always hope as each generation comes up that racism will be gone or at least lessened. You know, and I think that's happening, you know, with the millennials seem to be very much more open and accepting of whatever it is, whether it's interracial relationships or whatever. But then you see
families
this.
And I think that partially due to the political polarization right now, people who feel that way feel some kind of freedom to come forth with those thoughts. Because it's only legal that you keep people from doing things. You know, you're not going to change those people. But again, you know, I hope it, you know, I would hate for it not to be legitimate and we're all vetting it. But again, they'll find out.
And imagine how
eventually.
those students feel seeing themselves in that post.
And the parents.
Well, they're saying who it was. I mean, they're saying that it was a male student who was a senior that was posted, because I was trying to find out exactly who it was, because on some sites you saw the students, the African American students, the girls, they were fuzzy in picture, and then some actually showed the photos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so I actually saw the students, and so I thought that was actually really bad to actually see the students, but they wouldn't show the senior that was the one that was guilty of this. And I feel like
maybe because he's a minor?
Maybe, but he may be 18. So they're saying he's a senior, because I was trying to find out how old he was. And so he is a senior, and he only got suspension and sent to another Clay County school. So that was the only repercussions of this so far.
And we do
like
have
I said,
some comments.
That's about what schools can mostly do.
Well,
Most of the time when you see this. Yeah, look at some of these comments from the chat's Facebook page. Cindy writes, I would say this is a hate crime and cyberbullying, to say the least. From Jennifer, we cannot continue to ignore racism in our society. This is insanity. Lisa writes, this is awful. I will say the school took immediate action, and all of us were contacted from Clay County, and those students were suspended. So they did take quick action, and I posted this on my own Facebook page and got a lot of reaction too. Yeah. So it's very hurtful.
Oh,
I'm sure we'll hear more about this one.
Yeah, to say the least. All right, well, another controversy we are discussing today. Comments made by Fox News host Jesse Waters about Ivanka Trump. He was responding to footage of Ivanka speaking on a panel about female entrepreneurship. He first defended her against the booing she was receiving from the crowd there. But then he made what some are calling a lewd joke. Take a look.
I think people in Europe should support that. I don't know why also saying that, you know, my father respects families is controversial. I mean, he's probably hired a ton of fathers and mothers and children, so I don't really get what's going on here, but I really liked how she was speaking into that microphone.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
So after the backlash started, he was quick to deny he meant anything sexual. He said, quote, during the break, we were commenting on Ivanka's voice. She really does have a nice voice, and how it was low and steady and resonates like a smooth jazz radio DJ. This was in no way a joke about anything else. Jesse is now on vacation from the show.
Kind of like Bill O'Reilly took one too.
He's supposed to be back on Monday. Yeah, exactly, a permanent vacation. But you know, the interesting thing is he says he loves her voice, and she really does have a great voice. I mean, I will say that. But then, why was your comment about the microphone and not about her voice?
And is this really what Fox News needs right now, after they forced out Roger Ailes and Bill O'Reilly over sexual harassment?
This is their culture. It is so ingrained in them. And this is what they think is like locker room stuff.
It's like frat boy culture that the women at Fox News have repeatedly complained about, filed lawsuits over. What do you think?
I like Jesse Waters. I think he's great, and I'm so glad that he's on the 5.
Do you want to join him on vacation?
Absolutely. He's a cutie. He's a 38-year-old cutie. He's a little too young for me, but he is cute. So yeah, I mean, I love him. I think he's a political humorist. That is what his job is, to commentate and to bring humor into the world of politics. Because let's face it, there's lots of humor to be found. So I think that he was probably right in what he was saying earlier with his quotes after. I don't think it was anything derogatory. I mean, just
really?
I don't think it was anything derogatory at all. I think
I know
he
you
was
like
bringing
Fox News,
humor.
but
he was bringing humor to the situation and trying
of course he was bringing humor,
to,
but by that, okay, now wait. Now let me just say this. I get it. I know what your politics are. You know what mine are. But sometimes I defend Donald Trump. I really honestly do. If I feel, whatever, he did something right, or, he was wronged or slighted, you really can't. I mean, you're really
wait. Let me defend Angelia. I'm not going to defend his comment because it might not be a political thing. She might think that those kind of jokes. I mean, listen. Does it really bother me? It doesn't really bother me. It's just that on Fox News, these guys have to
agree. You would think at this point, with this incredibly white hot spotlight on Fox and the way that they talk about and treat women, you would think, even though I hear your point, that maybe he could have thought twice before making a comment that's seen by so many millions of women as sexually demeaning. And the larger point, too, is the bigger point with that whole conference in Germany and everything that, all the controversy around her appearance there is, for people that don't like Donald Trump, they're questioning why she was on that panel to begin with, other than the fact that she's the daughter of the president.
Maybe it's the way she holds the microphone. It just could be.
And there we have political humor.
He had a very lame excuse. I'm like, we were talking about her voice. Then how come your comment was not about her voice? It was about the microphone. But anyway.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You girls both are on radio, so it's like, how she holds the microphone so close. I would think, I don't know. I don't know.
Have to hold the microphone. Someone holds it for them.
I like, exactly. It's on a stick. So, but
I like how you're trying to help the guy.
I don't think he meant any harm by it, and if he did,
I don't think
he's
he did
a 38-year-old cutie looking at a 30-something-year-old really cute Ivanka.
But
so
on Fox News
I don't think there was anything.
Timing, Fox News, probably not. But
agreed with that completely. Yeah, right on the heels of Bill O'Reilly. Oh, goodness. And he brought Bill O'Reilly on. Bill O'Reilly brought him on. That's, so. All right, well, moving on now to some celebrity drama. Madonna is reportedly not happy with a new biopic about her pre-fame life. Brett Ratner is expected to produce the film, in which focuses on Madonna's struggles in New York while making her first album. Well, Madonna expressed her displeasure with the film in an Instagram post saying only she was qualified to tell her story, and not anyone who supports this film is supporting lies and exploitation.
Oh, man.
All right, so gosh, here we go. Madonna's back in the spotlight.
This is why most of these biopics are done after they've died.
Well,
because when a megastar is still alive, they want total control of how their
and she is a very controlling person.
Yeah.
And here's the funniest thing about that. So she says that, and I think she said that yesterday, right? Only I could tell the story of my life, you know, that she knows exactly what happened. Well, then she gets a hold of the script, and she posts, it's now been deleted, she posts something with this line in which she was on American Bandstand, she's talking to Dick Clark, and she says, he asked her, you know, where you were born, blah, blah, blah. No, I was born in Detroit, and I'm a famed high school dropout. That's what they have in the script.
She never said that.
Well,
not
Madonna,
on that show.
Madonna wrote that, WTF, and she said that that's not what she said because she wasn't born in Detroit and she went to college.
She did.
But lo and behold, there is video of her saying this to Dick Clark. Roll tape, please.
Oh.
I gave the impression you started in New York. You didn't. You started somewhere else, didn't you?
Well, I was born in Detroit.
Then you went to New York.
Yes, I'm a famed high school dropout, so don't believe anything they tell you.
She said exactly what the script said.
She did go to college.
And she's trying, I mean, she did, but she's trying to
How
say
about
she
the
didn't
fact?
say
How
that.
about the fact that the script is on the blacklist? Do you guys know about the blacklist? That is a list that was created in Hollywood, you know, 10 or 20 years ago. It's a list that gets passed around every year. It's the hottest unsold screenplays in Hollywood. It's the best scripts that are passed around. And if your script gets on the blacklist, that means it's a really good script. And so even though she may quibble with some of the inaccuracies in it, it's supposedly a great script, or it wouldn't be on the blacklist, which makes me want to go see that movie.
She probably just wants to get a little more publicity from it.
Sure.
And she
you know, there
doesn't.
are
She
a
likes
lot,
to be in control.
There's a lot of stars that did not graduate from high school. And they
Well, it's
went
not
on
even
and-
that. It's just the point that she tried to say, oh, I didn't say this. This is
exactly.
not right. And there's the video going, that is exactly, that is verbatim from when you met Dick Clark.
I love that bindi thing she's wearing, by the way. That's when she was in her Indian phase.
Yes,
Remember
that's
that?
right.
I loved
That's right.
that.
That
I
wasn't
loved
that long
Madonna
ago.
in the Indian phase.
Yeah, that might have been at Cannes.
So a little factoid. I have a cousin in New York that on the Upper East Side that lives right next door to her compound.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like it's the rest of the block. It's a huge, and they have fences. You can, you know, people go like to
Oh
the
yeah.
there, you know.
Didn't they have some parking issue too? Like I think she had some kind of parking issue with her place, and she tried to monopolize all the parking recently or
sure she
something.
does, yeah.
Something like that.
I want to see the movie. I remember when Madonna broke out in the early 80s,
yeah.
and I love her story. I love everything about how she came to New York with nothing, scrapped and, you know, struggled, and that's like the classic rags to riches story. I want to see the movie, and I think it's going to be great.
I think it's better when it's unauthorized.
I'm not a huge Madonna fan. I'm
You know?
She's not making money off of it, so she's not happy.
Yeah, and she's not in
That's
control,
all
so
this
she's
comes
not
down. I
happy.
don't care.
All right. Well, still to come on the chat. Are you interested in spicing up your wardrobe? What woman isn't? Well, Amazon's personal assistant is gaining a new ability, and we're going to tell you all about it. It's a really fun story coming up next.